And the latest coming in is from West Bengal. It's a big blow to the Mamata government as the Calcutta High Court order has set aside the appointment of 2,500 teaching and non-teaching staff. The services of the tainted candidates now shall be terminated and they should refund the salary. In fact, the Supreme Court has also said that the entire selection process itself was tainted. The Supreme Court has also said that there should be a relaxation for the clean candidates in the new selection process. The top court has asked for the process to be completed in the next 3 months, with the SSC appointments coming under the scanner due to the infamous cash for jobs recruitment scam. A big blow for the Mamata government in West Bengal as the Supreme Court has quashed the selection process of the teachers in the state. Now, the Supreme Court has ordered that the teachers who had received the salary, they need to refund all of the amount. Meanwhile, the new candidates who had not been tainted by the process will get a fair chance in the new selection process, which is going to be completed in the next 3 months. Do note that the scam had come in after there was a scam with the jobs for cash that emerged in the state. Now, do note that several thousands of students. Let's go across to my colleague Nupur, who is joining us from the Supreme Court. Nupur, what does this decision from the top court coming in really reflect with the teachers' appointment in the state of West Bengal?
Well, in fact, this is a very big step towards transparency in recruitment processes when it comes to government jobs. The Supreme Court, in a very big development and in fact a big blow to the West Bengal government, has upheld the Calcutta High Court order, which has set aside nearly 25,000 appointments and recruitments in SSC, where teaching and both non-teaching staff were appointed. Today, the Supreme Court said that the entire process was denuded, vitiated, and cannot be said that any was in fact tainted. The Supreme Court had earlier asked the CBI to continue its probe and had in fact partially stayed the Calcutta High Court order. But today, the Supreme Court has upheld the same Calcutta High Court order with some modifications. The modifications, which are in fact ordered by the Supreme Court, are very important to note here for the candidates. That means that the candidates, the Calcutta High Court had said that candidates will have to refund their salaries and appointments will be cancelled. Now the Supreme Court has said that there are several categories of candidates. Some are untainted, some did not come through that selection process. One category was that they were previously working in several departments. They came through that route. But since their appointment was in the same process, they will be given a chance to go back to their previous departments, and they will not have to, untainted candidates will not have to refund their salary, but tainted candidates will have to in fact refund their salary. And candidates, the period of termination of service and restoration of new service will not be considered as vacant service. This means that now the time period missed by the candidates will also not be compensated. And some candidates who are not tainted may have been working in different departments. Like I said, that the Supreme Court has differentiated 3-4 categories of candidates in the selection process. So now they have the option to go back to their previous department, government department, and they will have the right to go to previous department, and applications will be proceeded in the same within 3 months. Pre-selection process will also have to be initiated in 3 months. But the Supreme Court has in fact made exception for the disabled candidates and has provided some relaxations for the candidates who had come via disability quota. So all in all, this is a very big blow to the West Bengal government, as we have seen that the education minister or their former education minister was in fact themselves under scanner because of this cash for jobs scam that was reported widely by the media. And in fact today the Supreme Court has rejected the West Bengal government's petition that was moved against the Calcutta High Court order, which has set aside these appointments. Now they have to conduct the pre-selection process, and tainted candidates that who will have to return entire salary and any payments that they have drawn as benefits since the time of appointment, that is 2016. So it is in fact a very big example for those who try to, conduct fraud on the institution and try to fraud the government and the process to get shortcuts to selection processes.
Right, Nupur. Thank you so much for getting us all those details. Let's go across to my colleague Shreyoshi Dey also, who's joining us live from Kolkata. Shreyoshi, a big tedious task ahead for the West Bengal government, with the teachers now expected to refund all of the salaries and the benefits that they're drawn. How's that likely to pan out?
Well, of course, when the West Bengal government had moved the Supreme Court, the first, argument that they put across is that 25,000 teaching and non-teaching staffs appointments being set aside would only impact the students in the state-run schools here in West Bengal. However, the Supreme Court now has set aside those appointments made in the 2016 recruitment panel by the State Service Commission, and of course has come down heavily on the recruitment process because of being tainted. Then Education Minister Partha Chatterjee still remains behind bars here in the CBI case and the ED case, and of course we will be getting details from the families, those who had been appointed through that 2016 panel, what they have to say, considering all these appointments now will be set aside, and a Herculean task for the Mamata Banerjee government to recruit that many teaching and non-teaching staff to keep the schools running in West Bengal.
Certainly a big blow, Shreyoshi, as you mentioned, for the government, but also there are certain candidates who stand to benefit from this decision of the top court. How is that likely to sort of play out for the candidates who were not, tainted by that process?
Well, of course, a big relief for them because the case has been moving back and forth between the Calcutta High Court and the Supreme Court. And now, of course, with the verdict out, with what Supreme Court has outlined, those who had been appointed in a fair and right manner will continue to work. And also that exception for the disability category or those who had been recruited will continue to, work in these schools and get their salaries on time.
Right, Shreyoshi. Thank you so much for getting us all those details on the West Bengal government, which is facing a lot of backlash. At this point on the broadcast, I'm joined by Shatu Rupa, who is the spokesperson of BJP West Bengal, and Honorable Banerjee, who is representing the TMC. Coming first to Shatu Rupa, help me really understand, it certainly raised a lot of questions about the selection process that was going on in the state of West Bengal.
Yes, good morning. Again, a side slap on the government of West Bengal, specifically SSC, which is the School Service Commission, and the Education Ministry of West Bengal government. The Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal has gone on record in the Vidhan Sabha justifying the so-called supernumeric jobs that were created to help these tainted candidates, so-called tainted candidates who had been giving a lot of money to several, maybe either SSC or Partha Chatterjee or the then Education Ministry, just to get a recruitment in these jobs. There was a lot of effort from CBI, from even the High Court, and now the Supreme Court had also ordered that kindly sift out which of these innumerable candidates are genuine candidates or tainted candidates. But unfortunately or fortunately, SSC has absolutely no answer to give. I think we've been watching the progression of this case, and let me tell you, the OMR sheets, which were the ones in the basic debate all about, there has been black magic, so to say, in these OMR sheets where tainted candidates have suddenly got these marks which were not even ascribed to them. Most importantly, OMR sheets were not even available. There were no mirror images. The hard copies were not kept, despite the rule that hard copies need to be kept for over 3 years. SSC had no answer to give, and here you had the Chief Minister claiming on a public stage that she had some 40,000 jobs kept in stock. Where that stock is and what happened to the 40,000 jobs is still a question. But today, as of now, the Supreme Court has given the verdict. Most unfortunate, there will be probably very few genuine people who have got affected. I'm seeing on screen on other channels that they're breaking down. Understandable, but The fact that the Supreme Court has once again upheld justice and has given a tight slap to the West Bengal government, and then now the rest of it remains to be seen what is going to happen to these people.
I'd like to bring in Mr. Banerjee at this point, who's representing the TMC. Mr. Banerjee, as you heard, Ms. Shatarupa also slamming the decision that has come forward now with the West Bengal government, really. There's no justification about the process. It's raised a lot of questions as well. And the fact that the 25,000 teachers or so will have to now refund all of the benefits and the salary that they withdrew during the time period. A big task ahead for the West Bengal government. How is that looking to sort of pan out?
Whatever the court has decided, the government will, of course, follow the orders. But if there is anything that the government thinks that needs to be challenged even in the upper forum, the government will do so. But what we have seen actually, that right from the year 2022, from the point of Pastor Chatterjee's arrest, the CBI has hardly progressed the case. And that is the reason, one after the other, even Peter Chatterjee has also got bail. Shantanu Banerjee and all the others are there. One after the other, they are getting bail from the courts because the CBI has failed to produce anything hard or substantial against them. The BJP is simply trying to use this as a political fiasco and nothing more. And there's a coterie of CPIM lawyers in the Calcutta High Court who are at the drop of a hat trying to stall any appointment process in the state. And we have seen just 2 days before that the Chief Justice had actually pointed out one of the CPIM lawyers that person is particularly stalling one process after the another. And that was regarding the appointment in the judicial service, though that's a different process. But this is the scene that we have seen year after year. No trial has begun, no criminal trial has begun. CBI, ED, they are simply going on a merry-go-round, round and round. No end to the investigation process or even the trial is not commencing. And therefore, whatever is going on, the people are watching who are trying to use these things as a political brownie points and which government or which party is actually trying to stand beside the candidates who have been appointed fairly. Therefore, in the political court, the people will give their verdict a year after, that is the 2020 assembly election. But in the meanwhile, whatever the Supreme Court decides, the government will follow.
Shatarupa, you're also part of the key opposition party in West Bengal. How will the opposition really ensure that, as the top court has ordered, that the next election process is not tainted and that it's completed within the next 3 months? Again, a Herculean task really for the government.
The Herculean task, because all that Anirban said were basically very lame statements, trying to justify or even trying to justify the stand of the West Bengal government. Basically, the West Bengal government really has no stand because these change people will have to cough up the money that was given to whichever minister, whether it was Pastor Chatterjee or whether it is a number of people who are in jail now. But yes, now coming back to your question, how will we ensure when we come to power in 2026? Then, of course, we will ensure that all selection processes are absolutely transparent as can be. And we are definitely going to keep on pointing out the mistakes and the criminalities of the West Bengal government till for the next 9-8 months till we go into election. But more importantly, I think it is extremely necessary to point out here the bad intention of the West Bengal government. I really don't know what is going to happen to these so many people who are now told to where they're going to get hold of so much of money from, because I'm sure they've spent it happily. There's been such a beautiful understanding between many of these tainted candidates and the people in power. I really don't know where they're going to cough up the money from. And then Anirban's high hopes that those people will also vote for the Trinamool. But, in reality, everything does not have to be about votes. We people who are educated, we've been to school, we've sat for competitive exams. We have always been taught from childhood that it is extremely important to study. Now, here you have an uneducated, illiterate kind of a government who has absolutely no value of anybody's education and even dares to purchase the education or the lack of education, so to say. So, once again, we are faced with a government who has absolutely insensitively lacked good intent, and that has been upheld by the Supreme Court of India.
Mr. Banerjee, just to wrap up quickly, as Shatarupa said that the TMC or the ruling party in West Bengal has no stand really. What's your take on that? Just to quickly wrap up.
The spokesperson belonging from a party whose chief leader has not got the courage to display his educational certificates, the college diploma, degrees, whatever it might be. The entire political science diploma or degree holder, Mr. Narendra Modi, does not have the courage to display his certificate. Therefore, that speaks volumes about the what can I say, the respect for education that the BJP has. But apart from that, regarding this particular debate that is going on, the Trinamool Congress has expelled Partha Chatterjee and his lot long back. But we have seen under the BJP, whether it is the Vaibhav scam or the NEET scam, not Shivraj Singh Chauhan, or not Dharmendra Pradhan, no one has been punished, no one has been expelled, not even a show cause letter. Therefore, we know what the BJP does when it's in power. The TMC will handle the political situation and the government will handle the administrative situation. In 2026, the BJP is going to get under 30 seats in the assembly elections. That's it.
All right, Ms. Shaturupo and Mr. Banerjee, thank you so much for sharing your insights on the West Bengal teachers' scam, where the top court has come in. We're also getting in some reactions on this case. Let's listen in.
Supreme Court was only with the legal issue whether this panel was legal or illegal, whether the services given to these people were tainted or beyond tainted. So Supreme Court has rightly held it today that the entire panel will go, everything has gone today.
So what happens to the 26,000 people who were appointed?
So everything goes, entire panel goes.
What about the salary part which they have?
Though High Court has a specific observation of Justice Basak's division bench, the salary will also be returned back. So Supreme Court has also upheld that portion. आज वेस्ट बंगाल का जो 26,000 एसएससी कैंडिडेट्स का नौकरी को लेके जो हाई कोर्ट ने जो डिसाइड किया था, एंटायर पैनल को जो हाई कोर्ट ने खारिज किया था, उसके अगेंस्ट में स्टेट गवर्नमेंट और एसएससी ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट में एक अपील दाखिल किया था. उसमें आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट में ये डिसाइड किया, क्योंकि ये पैरामीटर ऑफ इलीगलिटीज और करप्शन इतना बड़ा है, दिस इज बियॉन्ड रिपेयरिंग. So Supreme Court had no chances to select it out whether those are the tainted candidates or untainted candidates. So Supreme Court had the occasion to deal with this situation, and ultimately they have come to the outcome that the entire panel will go.